Hey, Ali Mehdaoui here, and welcome to the ME Show podcast, where we give entrepreneurs the secrets, strategies, and processes to increase brand equity and max out revenue. All right, and welcome back, everybody. It is episode number 2, and first and foremost, shout out to all of you who have showed me a lot of love on social media, sent me a lot of feedback, and it got me even more excited to work even harder for you. So welcome back to the episode number 2 of the ME Show, and today we cover overcoming objections. If you are in business, you are no stranger to the idea of getting hit by objections right in the face, and rightfully so. They will never stop coming. First, let's address the mindset to win and never get stuck with an objection. See, there are two sides to the equation: internal objections and external objections. Let's talk about internal objections. This is the part where most of the work needs to be done. Let's call it for what it is. No one wakes up ready to receive every skeptical, negative human being on earth. And most of us live with some negative and skeptical people. People who tell us things like, what makes you think you can become successful? Or you keep planning on money you don't have. Or you always say we will make it. Sounds familiar? We all been there, my friend. Whether it's a spouse, a parent, a friend, they embedded these thoughts in our heads. And the more we have heard these statements, the more they are stored in our minds. See, the moment we have a prospect, that subtle voice of our loved ones telling us those very same things we thought we have ignored, all of a sudden, they become real. It becomes a real emotion that takes over our bodies, our vocal cords, and our focus is totally shattered. Fear, nerves, the inability to respond to a simple question. That feeling is what we call an internal objection. The idea that I'm not good enough, or I am not built for this, or maybe I should quit and just stick with my daily grind or my job. You need to work on yourself, my friend. See, your self-sabotaging voice is 90% of the day present with you. Science tells us that we are only conscious 10% of the activity that we do every single day, and 90% we are not even conscious of it. It's like driving for an hour to get home and realize that you don't even remember most of the ride. You must overcome those internal objections before you get into business day. Let me ask you a question. Can you 10x your current income within the next 90 days? That means increasing it by 10 times. If you answered, I wish, or God, no, that is an internal objection. And what you tell your body becomes a subconscious movement. That is why you must focus on new daily habits to create productive, positive subconscious activities. I'm not asking you to get radical in day one, nor am I here to tell you it is going to be easy, but you will need to start somewhere. Here are some steps that I believe can help you start your journey to have your days without internal objections. See, I read and listened to The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. Some of you probably have his book right now. A great book that shares fundamentals I believe have put a direct impact on my days, such as waking up early, not touching the phone in the first 30 to 60 minutes, sharing a grateful statement before having your feet touch the floor, meditation, reading, and so many great steps towards a clean-minded day. Bottom line is this. You have to remove the stinking thinking and replacing it with positive self-motivating behavior to become confident and believe that you deserve greatness and you have the best things your prospect will ever need to create a voice filled with influence and authority. This is the day of success and rewards that will start to come to you instead of you chasing it. So before you start your business day, put some reminders everywhere that will remind you that you got it, that you have what it takes, that you are amazing. Put it in a post-it note. Stick them everywhere you work. Listen to a podcast, maybe this one, to get your mindset in the right place, and do it regularly. See, internal objections are like dandruff. You skip a shower or use the wrong shampoo and it shall be back. So you need that positive shower every single day to maintain a clean mindset. Now, let's address how to overcome external objections. Now remember, objections are part of the business journey. They never go away, and you'd be surprised how creative some people would get with these objections. My all-time favorite objection was back in 2014, and I will never forget it. When a prospect of mine said, "I will have an emergency on Friday, so I won't be able to join the company." On Friday. That's in the future. Should have gotten my lottery numbers from him. By the way, it was a free to join opportunity at that time. So here is how I minimize objections. Notice how I said minimize and not eliminate or totally overcome objections. See, my goal is to simply control the positivity of the conversation and keep a great experience for my prospect, leaving them with more valuable information, feeling empowered, and welcoming their skepticism as a talking point and not a shot at my business. Before we dig into the offer and its objections, let's talk about before the meeting. One of the things that I learned from Sandler's sales training was the upfront contract. The link to that full training is on the podcast notes and descriptions, by the way. It is the process of setting the expectations of the meeting a day before, with time, outcome, prospect role, your role, plus any info or video to be reviewed before the meeting is to take place, so that your prospect will be prepared and know what to expect before the meeting even takes place. That will give you a prepared prospect versus a loose cannon. A prospect who knows what he or she wants and makes it very clear versus coming up with random questions before he or she had no idea what the offer's true value even is. You, on the other hand, you must prepare for a successful meeting. Have testimonials ready. Have supporting documents ready. Confirm a day before that your prospect did review the info. Do some homework on the prospect himself or herself. Their social media assets, by the way, will show you all that you need to know about what makes them excited or what they are most passionate about. It allows you to have a little bit of an idea of their personality, if you will. Now, during the meeting, sit up, maintain eye contact, write their points and questions down, listen, and ask questions about what is it that's important to them. Questions like, how long have you been dealing with this issue? What have you done to overcome it? What have you tried to get out of this situation? Why didn't it work? See, your prospect will feel as if you are sitting on their side of the table and negotiating for their success, identifying their solutions, not simply pushing a product or a service or an opportunity for the sake of a commission. Every answer you will get is to help them make an educated business decision. Notice I didn't say close, I said an educated business decision. Let them know, based on what you have shared with me, I believe we should not invest any time or any energy on the top two packages, as I believe there are more than what you need. Or, if I were you, I would consider these two options. And here's why. Inserting their answers that they gave you when you were asking them questions. See, once you see a little sign or a hint or an affirmative behavior or a positive reactions like, that actually makes sense, or wow, that's pretty cool. See, that's when I personally would ask for the sale. This is when you say things like, it sounds to me like you are ready to get started. If you get anything but yes, refer back, pull back, as in, oh, sorry, I shouldn't have assumed. what other info we need to provide to get things going for you. It's okay to be personable. It's okay to let them know we're going to get things for you. Remember, the upfront contract, which by the way, is again in the description and you can watch the full training on it. It will absolutely provide you with everything you need so you know when to pull back and when to ask for the sale again. Here are some of the things that they're going to hit you up with. Too expensive. Ooh, I love this one. Too expensive. Ali, coaching is too expensive. Your speaking engagement is too expensive. And I ask, well, may I just ask, it's too expensive compared to what? See, when you ask a question, you're giving them an opportunity to justify their answer, which in my 13-year career, most of the time they just say too expensive for my pocket. Well, my friend, so is a Rolls Royce, but there is a difference of value. Now, I'm flexible and I work with everybody based on their budgets, and that's when I say, well, what would be the appropriate budget for you? See, once I identify the appropriate budget, I can guide them to exactly what they can afford instead of me playing the back and forth. So too expensive compared to what? Give them an opportunity to justify, and then you can say, hey, well, what would be your appropriate budget? They may say, I don't have money. You've heard that one before? Here's personally, in the most compassionate, personable way possible. You can't be cocky or arrogant about this. Is that a situation that we need to change as well? See how I said as well? Meaning I am not insulting you. I'm asking you, is that something that we need to work on? Because here's what I do know. You can be resourceful. Don't tell me it's okay if you don't have resources right now, but you can sell something on Facebook Markets or eBay or Amazon. You have a fortune in your attic or in your garage or in your basement right now as we speak. So we can find a way to get you going, right? The thing is, I want to make sure that I'm using that as in a focused goal, as a main reason why we're going to work together. Is that a situation we need to change as well? Because here's what I do know about you. You're not going to say, no, I want to stay in a situation where I don't have money. So now you're giving me an opportunity to dig a little bit deeper and ask some more questions that will lead for me and you doing business together. Here's another one. I don't have time. Oof, I love that one. My question, you don't have time for, and I pause. See, what I'm doing here is trying to understand what did they anticipate that they're going to be doing. Clearly, I've communicated something wrong. You don't have time for what? So, for example, let's say we're talking network marketing in here. Oh, I just don't have time. You don't have time for what? They'll say things like, well, I'm sure I need to be available 5 hours a day, right? No. You just need to get good at sending text messages and tagging people in a video. And you could do that while you're in the bathroom. You could do that before you start your day. Or you could do that while you're in bed before you fall asleep. See, I just addressed that in a positive way. Again, you don't have time for, and pause. Here's another one. I don't see the value. Ooh, that may be a little bit personal, right? So instead of you taking it offensive and getting upset or be like, you don't see value, what is wrong with you? Don't do that. Don't drop that low. Here's what you do. Totally get it. And I'm just curious. Why did you agree to still meet with me? I mean, you're telling me you don't see value. You confirmed yesterday that you were going to watch the video. You wrote your questions. You asked me all these relevant questions. You made me clearly drive all the way here for a reason. So why did you agree to meet with me still? And give them an opportunity to say what they were hoping to get. Once you get that answer, that's when you have, again, another opportunity to dig a little bit deeper. Now, are you going to have like a 1 out of 1,000 times a weirdo that just wanted to grab a free coffee out of you? It'll happen. But it's 1 out of 1,000 times. Just make sure you do that upfront contract that I've mentioned, and it allows you to minimize time wasters and maximize your opportunity to get business done. Here's another one. I have to check with my wife, or I have to check with my husband, or I have to check with my boyfriend or my girlfriend. We get that a lot. Here's the thing. Hey, totally get it. When did we want to schedule that call or Zoom with her or with him? See, I'm already scheduling that follow-up, and there's a reason for that. I know for a fact their prospect, you're not going to be able to explain 13 years worth of education after 30 minutes meeting with me to your spouse. You're just going to go home and say 500 or 1,000 or 5,000 or whatever the offer may be. And your spouse is going to be like, what the heck is wrong with you? No, I'd rather stay home and pay the bills. So I will infuse myself as to saying, well, when did we want to schedule that call or that Zoom with her? Because I'd love the opportunity to address any and all questions that she or he may have, just like we did with you today. And I don't mind spending another 30 minutes. That way, I guarantee that the information is going to be delivered the proper way. And I let them know, too, why I want to do it myself. Here's another one. I have done something like this before, and it just didn't get anything for me. I didn't get anything out of it. Here's my answer. Sounds like you've had a bad experience. Would you care telling me a little bit more about that? So again, this is when you are on a date and your date says something like, all guys are jerks, or, you know, all girls are bad, or whatever the excuse/reason may be. Now, you may choose to just stand up and say, wah, I'm out. Okay, no problem. We don't have to date. Or you can say, sounds like you've had a bad relationship before. Why don't you tell me a little bit more about that? Do you understand that that instantly diffuses that negative mindset and tells that person that I actually care about you? I give a crap. I want to know what went wrong to make sure it never happens to you here or anywhere else. So always ask, would you mind telling me a little bit more about that? Here's another one. I Googled the company and there were many bad reviews. Again, you may take that to heart and start defending and getting into palms are sweaty. Don't do that. I get that a lot. Can I just show you the thousands of great reviews and you'll see how much they surpass the very tiny little itty bitty few. See, what I'm saying is, can we use some common sense in here? And I understand there are some bad reviews, just like every restaurant does not have all good reviews. There are usually some unhappy people with one reason or another. Can I show you the thousands? Like in our entrepreneurial community, we have people all the time. They're like, well, you know, I'm different. My situation is not like everybody else. I'm like, well, would you mind if I show you some of the reviews of the 4,700 people in 6 continents that we're working with? See, that lets them know there's plenty of validation. Let me just show you. Now, here's the thing. Prepare yourself, because no matter how amazing you are, you got that 1% every now and then that will show up. So these are just a few examples, but the rule of thumb is simply asking a question about their circumstances. Let them know that you are focused to resolve the issue and provide a true solution. Now, to be fair, and again, you can do everything right and still have some prospects not buying into your opportunity, products, or services. But remember what I said at the beginning. The main focus is to control the positive narrative and give a great experience, which leads to open arms, follow-ups, and even the prospect himself or herself. Even if they don't join you that day or they don't buy from you that day, they will speak the world of you. So I hope that this podcast, this episode has helped you out a little bit to be able to overcome, at least my focus is to overcome internal objections, because remember, external objections will always hit you in the face, but internal objections you are 100% responsible and in control of. The question is, are you going to do the right activities, have the right behaviors, or you're going to put yourself in a position where you are totally out of control? Now, episode 3 is going to be all about prospecting. I'm going to cover for you how to never run out of people to talk to for your business. And I'm going to talk to you a lot about how social media and old school networking is absolutely identical. So for those of you who say, I don't do social media, I'm old school, you're definitely going to want to tune in. And those of you who are in social media and probably are butchering it, you're definitely want to tune in too. So I will be seeing you in episode 3. And the title of it is How to Never Run Out of People to Talk to for Your Business. See you next time.